Hi, I'm Lance Clark, and I'm here to talk about mistakes. And not just talk about mistakes, but hopefully talk about what I learned from some of the mistakes along the way in this beautiful world of filmmaking and storytelling and the creative art that we all are passionate about, right? I'm a film producer. I'm also a film educator. I teach film at Huntington University, and I'm actually entering my 31st year as a film professor at Huntington University. So I'm going to try to make this precise and as short as possible, but hopefully you can pick up a few nuggets along the way. I've probably executive produced 150 short films, anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes. And I've now produced 2 feature SAG films that are in the 90 to 100 minute range. And our first feature film, Wayfaring Stranger, which we've just finalized. It's all being polished and scrubbed and good to go. And we're seeking distribution right now, looking at that. Is a story I'd like to share about, talk about that particular film when it came to casting and as my role as a producer on our first feature, low budget film. It was under $1 million. It was actually under $700,000. But we had, I went out there and raised the money and formed some good friendships and some partnerships. And I kept hearing over and over again, since it was the first feature film, was, hey, you need a name. You know, when it comes to distribution, you got to have a name. You got to have somebody that distributors can look at and like, oh, okay, somebody might, stop when they're swiping and boom, I recognize that face. So I really was trying to find a name, and our script was coming in at about an 18-day shoot. We knew our dudes would be about 18, days. And so we had put a formula together to bring in a name, or 2 names possibly, that could fulfill all the speaking roles and all their parts within 3 to 5 filming days. And so we talked to a talent agent who was out of the Los Angeles area, and we're like, hey, here's what we got. We're shooting for 18 days. We got a part for a female lead. It was a lead, but kind of minor lead. It wasn't like the lead, but it was a significant role that we had figured out how to shoot all the various scenes. I think we had 12 different scenes. They could shoot it in 5 days, right? Who can we do? So I'm going to not name names here because I don't want to call anybody out, but we had landed a person, a female actress that is known, definitely in the TV stratosphere. And I'll just say they worked for several years on a very popular television series. And this would be, if I was to say the person's name, is somebody you'd recognize, and you could Google it and go, oh, yeah, of course. And everybody was like, this is great. And we talked to her agent. She was excited about the role. She loved the story, blah, 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 right? So I contacted our lawyer, is a lawyer, entertainment lawyer out of Nashville, super guy. And I called Sam. I said, Sam, we got this, got this person interested in it, and she's ready to go for it. So we signed, he drafted the contract. We got it to her. She signed the contract. And this was about 6 weeks before principal photography. Okay. And we're getting closer and closer to principal photography. And, we're doing a little bit of, it's kind of last minute stuff. Like literally we didn't get into the weeds until about a week out, and about, I'd say 10 days before we started principal photography, we started hearing some things from her agent, like, hey, there's this other opportunity that might come about. It's over in Europe. It's with a network. It's a network show. Oh, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? What's going on here? And literally 3 days before we were going into principal photography, this was a Wednesday. We were going to principal photography the following Monday. So not 3 days, but business days. I get a call from her agent, and it was, Lance, we're so sorry, but she's got this great opportunity, and it's with Fox TV, and she can't pass it up. It's going to pay for her insurance for a whole year. And she only has to go on set for 2 weeks, and it's over in Europe, and it's going to be a really exciting show, and she just can't pass it up, and the money's great. And of course, we were coming in at a moderate to low budget SAG rate. It was still decent for 5 days worth of work, but it wasn't anything like what the numbers I was hearing. And I tell you what, we are 3 business days away from going into principal photography with a key person. Okay. And it fell through. And I said, well, this is the problem, right? This is what I'm getting to. What about the contract? I've got a contract. She signed the contract. She signed our contract. And her rep said, you don't really want to push that, do you? You don't really want an upset actress on your set, do you? And I called my lawyer and I'm like, hey, I was so naive. I'm like, hey, is this real? Like, did you actress just bail on you a few days before you? That's how naive I was, right? And this is my first SAG film. And he's like, yeah, Lance, that does happen. I'm like, what's the point of a contract? Why do we have contract? And he's like, because it protects the actor and the actress and makes sure it's really to protect them. I mean, you are the producer and there are some things, but you could hold her to the fire if you wanted to. And he said the same thing. Do you really want to do that? And I thought, no, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to have an upset person or go through some legal thing. So the point of the moral of this story is contracts are good. Contracts are legitimate. Contracts, at least from my producing standpoint, are really there to serve the actors and to protect the actors, and they can get out of them. But you know what happened? We turned it around, and actually she was very gracious and had several friends that were kind of in the same age and category, and she reached out to several of them. And this person knew another person, and that was Wednesday. By Thursday, we had conversations with Bethany Ann Lynn. She'd been on the Ozarks, and she just happened to be free that same week, and she came in at a better deal. But and by Monday, Bethany Lynn was on set in hair and makeup and saying lines, and it all happened so fast, and it worked out. And she is absolutely fantastic in our movie Wayfaring Stranger. That's our first feature film. So there you go. Learn a lesson. Contracts are good. They protect the actress and the actor, not necessarily you. But there's such a collaborative spirit out there amongst all these actors. They want to help you out if you have a good attitude about it, which I found the way to have a good attitude about it. And it's really great. So, hey, I'd love to hear from you. Email me at lance@forresterfilm.com. This is our production company, Forrester Film. I'm an educator at Huntington University, and you can follow me on Instagram and all the social media. Just look for Lance Clark, and I'd love to hear your story and answer any questions you might have. Thank you.